There is a phrase that has echoed across civilizations, religions, and mystery schools for thousands of years. It appears in sacred texts, it is spoken by angels, it is whispered during visions, and it is always delivered at the most fragile moments of human transformation. Be not afraid, not when life is peaceful, not when certainty is easy, but precisely when reality itself begins to tremble. And if we're honest, that feels painfully familiar right now. Ahoy there, nautical truth seekers. My name is Captain Aries Ezra, and you have just boarded the illustrious ship Nautical Awakenings, where we don't skim the surface of life, we sail straight into the deep waters of truth. We navigate the turbulent currents of mystery, steadfast and headstrong. If you're ready to sail boldly to places never seen before, then strap up your boots and gather all of your gear. Walk the plank and subscribe to the Nautical Awakenings crew. Ring the ship's bell so you never miss another underway. Hoist sail and like the video. Toss over the mooring lines and share this video with your fellow salty sailors. Finally, drop anchor in the comments to join the conversation and scuttlebutt. Without further ado, set your compasses and batten down the hatches. We're about to get nautical. We live in a world of accelerating technology, artificial intelligence, collapsing belief systems, digital identities, and constant psychological pressure. A world that moves faster than the soul can process. A world where fear no longer arrives occasionally, but hums constantly in the background. So why is this the message humanity has always been given in times like these? Why does revelation begin not with explanation, but with reassurance? Fear does not appear randomly in spiritual stories. It appears at thresholds in every authentic initiation tradition, from Egyptian, Greek, Gnostics, to the Hermetics, Taoist, Buddhists. Fear is described as the final guardian before expansion. In the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead, the soul must pass through gates guarded by terrifying forms, but the danger is not the guardians themselves. The danger is forgetting who you are. The heart is weighed not against perfection, but against fear. A heavy heart sinks, a light heart passes through. This is why the initiates were taught calm before knowledge, stillness before truth, fearlessness before power. This same pattern appears in the Bible, though it is rarely taught this way. Angels never arrive gently. They arrive suddenly, radiantly, overwhelmingly, and the very first words spoken are always the same: be not afraid. This is not politeness. This is not some vague instruction. It isn't a fallible idea. It is instruction, the inner knowing of what is to come, because angels are not simply beings, they are states of consciousness. When the human nervous system encounters a higher frequency of awareness, the ego interprets it as danger. Fear is not a sign of evil. Fear is a sign that the old identity is dissolving. So the message is not meant to calm the ego, it is meant to invite the soul forward. Nowhere is this clearer than in one of the most famous lines ever written: though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Notice what it does not say. It does not say the valley disappears. It does not say suffering is avoided. It does not say darkness isn't real. It says that fear is not the correct response to darkness. A shadow has no substance of its own. It exists only where light is interrupted. Fear is not born from darkness. Fear is born from forgetting the light within you. There is a lesser-known mystical interpretation of Jesus walking on water that appears in early esoteric Christian teachings. Water symbolized chaos, emotion. The unconscious, to walk on water, was to remain conscious while surrounded by instability. When the disciples see Jesus approaching, they panic, and he says, "It is I, be not afraid." This moment is not about defying physics. It is about mastery of inner turbulence. The initiate does not wait for the storm to end. They learn to stand calmly within it. After the resurrection, the pattern continues. Jesus appears to his followers, alive after death itself, and again, his first words are not explanation, they are reassurance. Peace be with you, do not be afraid, because once consciousness expands beyond the fear of death, all other fears lose their authority. This is why the Gnostic texts were considered dangerous. Because they taught that fear was not inevitable, it was engineered. In Gnostic cosmology, the archons are symbolic forces of control that rule through ignorance and fear. Fear fragments attention. Fear narrows awareness. Fear keeps the soul locked into survival mode. But Gnosis, direct spiritual knowing, collapses fear instantly. You cannot terrify someone who knows who they are. This is why awakening is always preceded by anxiety, and why fear grows loudest right before liberation. The same truth appears in Eastern traditions. In Buddhism, fear arises from attachment to identity, outcome, permanence. Enlightenment is not described as ecstasy, it is described as fearlessness. In the Bhagavad Gita, the warrior Arjuna freezes on the battlefield, overwhelmed, paralyzed by fear, and Krishna does not remove the battlefield. He removes the illusion. Fear dissolves when action aligns with truth. In Taoism, the sage is unafraid because they do not resist life's current. They bend, they adapt, they trust the flow. Fear is resistance, trust is alignment. Now here is the clutch esoteric story that ties all of this together. In the Eleusinian mysteries of ancient Greece, one of the most sacred initiation rites ever practiced, initiates were led into complete darkness. No explanation, no preparation. At the peak of terror, when fear fully arose, a voice would speak from the darkness. Do not be afraid, you have suffered, but you will suffer no more. And then light would return. This was the moment of rebirth, not before fear, but through it. This rite was considered so powerful that initiates were said to lose their fear of death entirely. They had seen beyond it. Long before modern religion, before doctrine and dogma, there was the ancient Sumerian myth of Inanna, the Queen of Heaven, who chose to descend into the underworld, not because she was forced, but because transformation demanded it. As Inanna passes through the 7 gates of the underworld, she is stripped of her crown, her jewelry, her garments, and finally her identity itself. At each gate, something familiar is taken away, and at each gate, fear deepens. Yet she continues downward anyway. This is not a story about punishment. It is a story about initiation. The underworld is not evil. It is truth without illusion. Fear arises not because Inanna is weak, but because she is approaching the rock or of being. Esoterically, this is be not afraid in its purest form. When the ego dissolves layer by layer, fear screams the loudest, but only those willing to descend can return crowned with wisdom. In ancient Egypt, the soul's journey did not end at death, it began there. Osiris, the god who is murdered, dismembered, and resurrected, becomes ruler of the Duat. The realm souls must traverse after leaving the body. This was not a place of fire and punishment, but a landscape of trials, shadows, and truths. The Duat represents the inner night of the soul, a realm where fear arises because nothing can be hidden anymore. At the hall of judgment, the heart is weighed against the feather of Mot, truth, balance, cosmic order. Here is the esoteric key. The heart becomes heavy not from sin, but from fear, guilt, and unresolved identity. To pass through the Duat, one must move without terror, without clinging, without lies. Be not afraid here is not reassurance, it is instruction. Only the fearless heart becomes light enough to rise. After the crucifixion, Christ does not ascend immediately into glory. Instead, ancient tradition tells us he descends into the depths, into Sheol, into hell itself. This moment, known as the harrowing of hell, is one of the most esoteric acts in Christian mysticism. Christ enters the realm of death not as a victim, but as light entering darkness. He does not battle demons, he does not fight fear. He walks through it. In doing so, he frees the imprisoned souls, not by force, but by presence, by demonstrating that fear has no authority over awakened consciousness. This is why, after resurrection, his message is simple and repeated: do not be afraid, because once fear is faced fully and consciously, it loses all power. Now, bring this into the present moment. We live in a world where fear is monetized, measured, fed to us through screens. Algorithms reward outrage. Media thrives on anxiety. Technology accelerates faster than wisdom. We are not designed to live in a constant state of alarm. So when ancient wisdom says, be not afraid, it is not denial, it is sovereignty. It means to refuse to let fear or anything else choose your thoughts. Refuse to let fear define your identity. Refuse to let fear convince you that you are small, powerless, or alone. This does not mean ignorance. It means clarity. It means standing steady. While the world reshapes itself, because every great transformation in history felt like collapse while it was happening, every awakening feels like disorientation at first, and every soul hears the same message at the edge of expansion: be not afraid. Not because nothing is happening, but because something profound is unfolding. If the world feels strange right now, if old beliefs no longer fit, if fear rises without a clear cause, you are not broken. You are standing at a threshold. The message being whispered to you is the same one humanity has always heard before awakening. Stand. Steady. Breathe. Remember who you are and fear no evil. If this message steadied you, share it with someone who needs it. Consider subscribing to Nautical Awakenings for more deep dives into hidden wisdom and spiritual truth. Give the video a like and comment below what you learned. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this fascinating topic. If you enjoyed this nautical excursion, feel free to check out the captain's stash of more naughty nautical footage. Until next time, keep your compass true, your mind clear, and your spirit unshaken. I'll see you on the open waters. Peace and love.